Hello, Roman. My name is John Michael Bushman, and welcome back to Magic the Gathering. God, I really want to make content with MTGO, but because I live in the Philippines, PayPal doesn't exactly have an easy way for us to make payments on their frickin' platform. See, I already swore, and it's not even 15 seconds in. Well, that's gonna be a strike against my monetization. But I'm still gonna do this. So we're gonna have our Pauper set review for March of the Machine, the upcoming totally not Infinity War ripoff for Magic Gathering, and we have 126 cards to go through. So let's see if Mom has got something for us here. So we're gonna go through all 126 cards. Yes, we're gonna go through all of them again. So as far as I know, there are a handful of blue and black cards that have caught the eye of a lot of people for this set, and I will actually sort it not by name but by color because I'm more used to analyzing it by color. Yeah, there we go. Much better. All right. This is gonna be a lot easier. So, I mean, obvious. There's like a huge host of stuff to watch out for in this set. It's actually really interesting that we see like multiple planes for this set. So it's a huge lore treasure trove. You know, finding stuff here and there, which plane is from where, and the Phyrexians finally having their Infinity War moment where they invade multiple planes with the technology they've accumulated over the past couple of years. So we're gonna see if the supposed draft chaff will shake up the Pauper format. Starting with, oh, and by the way, I have no idea what the draft archetypes are for this set. I wasn't exactly paying too much attention to that part. I mean, I was more excited with like a bunch of the other mythics and rares, and there are also like a few good uncommons in this set. Like, holy crap! But we're gonna get there when we get there. And I've been playing. Oh yeah, and I've been playing with a bunch of them with my friends. With proxies and whatnot, and some of them are really really good. But let's just get right into it. First card. We have 126 to go through. First card, Area Boost. One and a white. It's an instant with Convoke. Ah, right. This is one of the returning mechanics for the set. Convoke. So it's a battle trick. +2/+2 gains flying. Huh, you missed. That's a really funny flavor text. Although with Convoke, you can base it's a battle trick, but it's a pretty middling battle trick, even for Pauper standards. So it's definitely pack filler. Battle tricks are always good-ish in draft, as far as I remember it. And here's me, I don't play that much draft, but in with a bunch of other YouTubers that I follow, they say that battle tricks should be like your fifth or sixth option whenever you're drafting. Next, we have Alabaster Host Intercessor, 5 in a white. Good God. Talk about overcosted. It's a Phyrexian Samurai. All right. I remember now. One of the draft archetypes for this set is quite literally built around the Phyrexian creature type. So what does he do? Exile target creature and opponent controls until he leaves the battlefield, and it has plane cycling. Ooh. So it's honestly bad as a creature. It's really bad as a creature, but it more than makes up for it in plane cycling, and it's honestly a decent body, all things considered. 3/4, so it survives lightning bolt. It survives shock. You need 2 shocks for it, or if your opponent really wants to go gung ho on it, a shock and a bolt. And the deck that I'm actually interested in for this is Living End, Modern Living End. Since exile target creature and opponent controls until he leaves the battlefield, this is Oblivion Ring on a creature. So he not only is discard fodder for the Living End decks, he's also removal once you cast your eponymous spell, and a lot of the creatures in the graveyard enter the battlefield. This is something to watch out for. Not in Pauper, but more in the modern format. The plane cycling is like always nice. Next, we have Alabaster Host Sanctifier, 2 mana 2/2 with lifelink. It's just a grizzly bear with lifelink. What more could you ask for? Um, Decent stats. The life link makes it better than it seems, but who knows if it will actually see play. I mean, I have been wrong in my evaluations. The last couple of sets didn't exactly shake up the format that much because, again, Pauper is just legacy light. So it has there's a lot of competition amongst the older cards in the format. So it has a lot of work cut out. This card, I would watch out for it since it's a 2 mana. It's an on curve, 2 mana 2/2 with lifelink. It could be an anti-burn thing, but by the time you're going to be able to attack with this in burn, it's probably already dead. The next card is something that a lot of Bogles or heroic players are excited for, Angelic Intervention. It's basically another protection spell, but the main thing that this thing has is it protects against colorless sources. And if you target a creature, which is usually the case in Pauper since there are no common planeswalkers yet. This gives a +1/+1, so it makes your Bogles bigger, it makes your heroic creatures bigger. It's basically color protection, like as if we don't already have enough of that in this format. This is something to watch out for, but again, it's competing against a lot of the 1 mana protection spells, but it's something to keep an eye on. Our next four, Attentive Sky Warden, a 3 mana 2/2 flying. Whenever it deals combat damage, transform. Yes, this is also another I think mechanic in this set, the incubation mechanic, where you create a token and then you quote unquote hatch it, and then you get a Phyrexian creature. I guess it's literally like it hatches your chicks. Essentially, it makes it turns them into lean, mean fighting machines. But it flies. It's evasive, but you have to build. Or this is basically something to watch out for in draft. Obviously, if you're building around incubation, but other in Pauper, no, it's a 2/2, so it dies to a lot of red removal, and black removal is like, of course. So yeah, no, pass up on this one in the Pauper format. Bola Slinger, 4 mana 2/2 with backup. Yeah, another one of the new mechanics for March of the Machines. Backup, backup, backup. Yeah, there's a card in this set that has backup won 3 times, and people have already made like lip biscuit memes about it. But you just look for the card. I think it's an Elephant Warrior, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that. But let's go back to Bullet Slinger here. It's a 4 mana 2/2, so it dies a lightning bolt. Whenever this creature attacks, tap a creature. No, just no. Cut short with Convoke. Ooh. That's all right. You have my interest. Although this depicts oh, the wanderer killed that. Annie, Annie, I'm recording. Not too loud. There we go. Thank you. So this depicts the wanderer killing Tabby Mommy. Tabby is dead. Tumba. Now she's gonna be so pissed. But with Convoke, I guess you can leave mana. Honey. You can leave mana open, but your creatures are all still standing up, and Convoke doesn't care if your creatures have summoning sickness, and this destroys a planeswalker if it activated this turn, or it also destroys a tapped creature. It's okay. I mean, it's definitely sideboard material, but in the grander scheme of things, I don't see it, getting too much use for the Pauper format. And probably in Pioneer, maybe, since Planeswalkers. Well, I mean, the worst Planeswalkers are essentially banned in that format, and as you go older, there are like far better removal spells, so something to keep in mind when you're on a budget, I guess. But this is just something you would prefer to just have in your sideboard for draft. Next, we have Enduring Bond Warden. It's a 1 mana 0/1 with backup 1, and when this creature dies, put its counters on a target creature you control. So it's basically a 1 mana 1/2. Yeah, it can be a 1 mana 1/2, but the thing about backup is if you put the +1/+1 counter on another creature, it gains the ability. So it can be useful. It can be really, really useful to give your better attackers better abilities. But we're gonna see where this guy goes. Keep an eye out for this one. It's a one drop, so it can definitely come in on curve on time. Next, Golden Scare Aeronaut. It's a 5 mana 2/3 with backup one and flying. No, this is definitely pack filler and also draft chaff. That's absurd draft chaff. Next, we have Infected Defector, a 5 mana 4/3. When it dies, incubate 3. This is the one where these are the incubation stuff now. No, 5 mana for a 4/3. It just dies to lightning bolt, and when it dies, incubate 3. So it basically makes a 3/3 on death. So you're essentially investing like 7 mana for a 3/3. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Inspired Charge. I think this is a reprint. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna have to check after this video. But +2/+1. I mean, it's four mana for this effect. There are permanent effects that give a +1/+1, and are far harder to deal with. So no, not even for like Pauper, not even for draft. I mean, 4 mana is, for me at least, is too expensive. But this will definitely not make the cut. Next, we have Ketkin Billy Rider. Billy Rider, because it's a goat, right? 3 mana 1/3. Well, double strike. I mean, not bad. But the flag protects. Brother, guide my right hand. Sister, my left. Rest well, my kin, but Lowen still needs me. I will not be joining you quite yet. Salute you, sister. That brave words coming from a goat rider right there. I'm gonna get this card if only for the amazing art and the absolute sheer chadness out of this woman right here. Next, Knight of the New Coalition, a 4 mana 2/2, so it already dies to Lightning Bolt, with Vigilance. And when there's the battlefield, create a 2/2 Knight, well, white and blue Knight. White and blue Knight. Ooh, so you're essentially paying 4 mana for 2/2s. I mean, why not? It's for go wide stuff, but otherwise, no. 4 mana is a bit too overcosted, so no. Could be decent pack filler, or rather curve filler. Same with the other guys, like say Infected Defector or Attentive Sky Warden, especially if you're building around the incubate mechanic. Same with Bola Slinger. These three are like good curve fillers. Let's get Aeronaut, probably not. But these three definitely all work well as curve fillers, since they do much more than just be the bodies that they are. But then in Pauper, no. Next, Core Halberd, 1 mana equipment, +1/+1 vigilance. I mean, yeah. If it had flash, it would probably be a lot better. But otherwise, something to keep an eye on. But if I remember correctly, there's like a red equipment that was really good. I can't remember the name right now, but we'll get to it when we get there. Phyrexian Pegasus, this is definitely Therosian because I don't see. Yeah, Cymede, Regent of the Alabaster. No! Cymede got completed! No! Oh god! Poor Anax! Oh no! His wife got completed. Oh no! Oh god, that's so bad. But when the Pegasus attacks and the target attacking creature without flying gains flying. So yeah, it's like some of the other Pegasi that I've seen throughout Magic. Oh god. But Cymede got completed. That's so bad. Anax is gonna be so pissed. Let's just move on before I get any more sad. Next, 2 mana Realmbreaker's Grasp. Realmbreaker, yeah, they managed to turn the World Tree into basically a virus that infected all of the planes with phyresis. Enchant identified creatures. The obligatory pacifism effect. Enchanted permanent. And only enchants artifacts or creatures. Yeah, the obligatory pacifism effect for the draft format. So yeah, I do know a certain player within in my LGS that built a literal prison deck for Pauper. It's all white pacifism effects. He has like I think 16 of those effects in his deck, and it's janky. It works when it works. He needs to. If I remember correctly, he needs to draw into his finishers before I manage to get a footing. Otherwise, once I even against the other opponents he plays against. Once anybody finds any footing against his deck, he's pretty much dead in the water. But otherwise, he basically stops anything from happening on board, and it's really cool to see it go. But once the sideboard comes in and more efficient creatures come in, or the deck's faster than he is, it basically falls apart. But it's cool when it works, but more often than not, no. Next, we have Scroll Shift. It's an instant for 2 and a white. Exile up to one target artifact, creature, enchantment you control. Okay, so it's a flicker effect with card draw attached. So you basically gave Flicker a card draw, and it costs 1 more mana to do so. Maybe, I mean, Ephemerite is like the most powerful version of this effect nowadays, and that thing has rebound. So you're basically drawing a card. So this is something to watch out for, but otherwise, no. It's too overcosted for me at least. It's too overcosted for what it does. So I'd rather pass on this. Next, we have Sigiled Sentinel, a 3 mana 2/2 with backup 1 and Vigilance. So the other one had flying. This one has Vigilance. No. It blocks well, but and Pauper, again, and basically, like, if your butt is like below 4, it's usually a bad sign. You cannot exactly do too much. Although granting another creature vigilance, basically making your other creatures. This is basically what enlist should have been. It should have been backup instead. This is just the superior mechanic to enlist. But no. You can grant another creature vigilance, but no, this guy. I mean, it's basically a sorcery speed buff effect. No. Sunder the Gateway. Oh, look, Parhelion is dead. The Parhelion got Desutroid. Oh no, it's a sorcery. I'm just noticing now. It's a sorcery. Oh my god. Choose one. Destroy target non-token artifact or enchantment. Incubate two, then transform incubator token. Okay, so you either go wide or you destroy something, and then you start going wide. Flexible stuff like this. Somehow, yeah. Watch me eat my words once this gets established in like the Boros decks. Although, yeah, it only destroys non-token artifacts or enchantments, so that may limit it in the amount of sideboard slots for the format, but otherwise, it will probably not see any play. Next, we have Swordsworn Cavalier, a 2 mana 3/1, and it has first strike as long as there's another knight. If I remember correctly, it's like another draft archetype for this set, knights, and if I remember, and there's also like by this point the commander decks have already been revealed, and knights is the theme of one of the decks, and a lot of the upgrades for like the large majority of those commander decks come from this set. So but a 2 mana 3/1, you need to have another knight, so you need a lot already going your way for this to even remotely be more better than it is. But if 3/1 is good for attacking, but it dies super quickly, so pass on that one. Tarkir Dune Shaper. This is one of the handful of flip creatures that transform into Phyrexian versions of themselves. And it's a Phyrexian Doggo Warrior for 4th. Ooh, 1 mana that becomes a 4/3. This is insane. And it's a white-green creature. Am I reading the colors right? Yeah, it's white-green. Yeah, pay with either green or 2 life. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather pay 2 life. Oh my god. Is it wait. Wait. This is an Amonkhet. Yeah, Dromoka. No, it's a Tarkir. It's a Tarkir. Yeah, I mean, of course. I was thinking Amonkhet, like, because it's a dog, but no, it's in Tarkir. Did Oh my god, did the Boros Nexus get another toy? Another one drop? Oh my god. I mean, Sacred Cat is a 1 mana life linker, but this is a 1/2, so the cat just might have been replaced by this point. Although, or he could work alongside him, because a 4/3 with trample. I mean, by the time you're ready to flip this guy for like 4 mana and 2 life, your opponent's probably already frothing at the mouth with how frustrated they are. And I've played against a lot of Boros bullshit. So yeah, this is definitely something to keep an eye out for. All right, now for the blue cards, Assimilate Essence, a 2 mana instant, counter target creature or battle spell on its controller pays 4. All right, the obligatory soft counter. It only counters creatures or battles. I'm not actually too sure if there are common battles. I do know that they are to come in uncommon and up, or I may be mistaken on that as well. I mean, they could just be rares and up, but this is basically a counter creature spell unless they pay for. Really good for draft. I'm not too sure about it in Pauper because in Pauper there are like more efficient counters and some of them are even just straight up hard counters. So something to keep in mind, but ultimately you will probably not see any play. Disturbing Conversion, a 2 mana flash enchantment aura. Mm. Um, when it enters the battlefield, each player mills 2, and then enchanted creature gets -X/-O. Oh, where X the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. This is ooh. Ooh, so this could be something that can be used again. Yeah, it's a. I have a janky application for this, and it can be used against Dimir Terror. I mean, 4 mana to make Talarian Terror become like 0, have its power decreased to 0. I mean, it's a loss of five toughness booty, but it's an enchantment. Most blue decks do not have an answer for enchantments unless it's a hard counter. It's janky, but I love the idea in my head, but ultimately not see any play. I mean, it does mill, so it could be something for the mill decks in Commander, but there are far better effects in that format as well. So probably pack filler. Basically, if you want to survive better in combat, and it's flash, so that's also like a plus towards it, but otherwise no. Next, we have Ephara's Dispersal, a 2 and a blue for an instant, and it's costs 2 less to cast if it targets an attacking creature. It's basically a 1 mana bounce spell that has Surveil 2. Surveil 2 is not something to be scoffed at because it will fix your draws like nobody else's business. Although it needs to target an attacking creature, so this is definitely going to be in the sideboards of decks that can support it. Again, watch me eat my words when this doesn't see any play at all, but it's definitely a high pick for me for the Pauper format. Up next, Expedition Lookout, a 2 mana 2/3 Merfolk Rogue with Defender. As long as 8 or more cards in the graveyard, so there's a small mill sub theme. That's interesting, but to work that hard just so that it can attack and dies to like non-combat removal anyway. I'm again, when I say non-combat removal, I mean it in the context of red spells. Basically, it's a lightning bolt test. So no, unfortunately, I don't think this will see any significant play in Pauper. Next, Eyes of Gitaxias, a 3 mana sorcery, incubate 3, and draw card. I mean, if you're playing the incubate deck, this is something to keep an eye on. But otherwise, for the Pauper format, probably no. Next, we have Furtive Analyst, a 3 mana 1/4 human wizard with vigilance, and it loots. I mean, yeah. Card draw is card draw. It is a wizard, so this is something for wizard tribal commander decks to keep in mind, since it's an effect that they would love to have, and it has vigilance. It has vigilance, so holy crap! It has vigilance, so it can block. It's got a decent enough booty. And before if it's gonna die in combat anyway, you might as well loot. It's something to keep an eye on for Commander at least, but for Pauper, probably not. Next, we have Halo Charge Scab. So we're getting a fusion between Innistrad and New Capenna here, which is a very horrifying combination, all things considered. 5 mana 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, each player mills 2 cards. Then you may put an instant, sorcery, or battle card from your graveyard back on top of your library. 5 mana for that effect is overcosted for me on a 4/4. It would probably be better if it were like 4 mana rather than 5, but the mill too, given that Expedition Lookout here cares about stuff in the graveyard for your opponent, this will definitely help that out. But otherwise, no, to work that hard to achieve that effect, I don't see it happening. Although this guy might actually see more play in draft compared to the Expedition Lookout. But Expedition Lookout is a curve filler, so who am I to judge? I'm only seeing this in the context of constructed, not draft. Oh yeah, these. Oh my god, this row. Ugh. I remember the hype that the next two cards generated in my local Pauper community. Let's go first with Meeting of the Minds. This spell is insane. You can basically draw cards without spending a single drop of mana. Especially if you have a very wide board of creatures, and this card is just insane. It can essentially be zero mana draw two if you want it to be. As long as you have four creatures on board, four blue creatures to be specific, or one blue creature at least, and three other creatures. If you have that, you can just you can just draw two. It's basically slightly better Thoughtcast in my eyes. Um, just a draw. It's just convoke, draw two. It might even completely replace Thoughtcast if their board is wide enough. Although Thoughtcast is always like a one mana draw two spell anyway, no matter what you do with Affinity. God, I fucking hate Affinity. And then right beside it, Moment of Truth. This is another one of those anticipate style effects. This can fix your draws, and I've even heard murmurings in the legacy format that this could see play there because it could help the Doomsday decks out, especially in legacy. In vintage, like it's already like there's already like really good card fixing there, but in legacy this might see play, but who knows? We'll see. And then negate, it's a classic counter spell, but seeing this, the lore implication of the lore implications of this, like Amio died, yes, but Ajani didn't, so there isn't really a proper passing of the old guard to the new, and basically they were just quote unquote cured of their phyresis because you know Watsy keeps raising the stakes, but ultimately we're in it. But then it ultimately means nothing because they'll just sweep it under the rug so they can recycle it later. The lore implications of this, I really, really do not like. It's basically, a lot of people say it's just Wharf the Sparkle over again. There are only like a few deaths that don't essentially amount to anything, but I do not like it when they just play it safe like this. They should have just killed the Johnny off. They should have basically, if they had the balls to kill Jaya, they should have also just killed the Johnny off. And they even killed Tamio. Then I don't know if Jace is alive yet, so we'll get there when we get there. But seeing a Johnny be alive, essentially, I am utterly disappointed. Next, we have Oculus Whelp, a 4 mana 3/2 with flying, and as long as you control a transformed permanent, when this thing dies, you draw a card. Take note, I'm just noticing now the wording is transformed permanent. So, um, I think this also includes morph because I think morph is also transform. But I'm not too sure about the wording on that. I'm going to have to ask a judge on this on what other cards transform apart from the apart from the incubator tokens. But otherwise, this is just pack filler. Order of the Mirror, another one of those flip creatures that transform. So this one is Azorius. And what does it turn into? Order of the Alabaster Host. Soon she understood that it was not the vision that had been twisted, but her own mind. Ma'am, your horse is not in good condition, and your horse looks more like a dog now. Oh no. Oh dear. She was not in for a good time. Ugh. It becomes a 3/3. And for 2 mana, a 2 mana 2/1 even, so it's not even a good blocker. And you'd have to work hard to get a 3/3, and then when it becomes so no, not no, man. The art was so cool, but the abilities are so meh, man. Preening champion, what, you're really good at grooming? Yeah, we get it. 3 mana 2/2 when it enters the battlefield. Okay, so you're basically paying 3 mana for 3 power. I mean, why not? If you want to go wide, go on ahead, but otherwise no. Protocol Knight. Ooh, we're in Ravnica again. 4 mana for a 3/4 when it enters battlefield. Tap target can you put a stun counter on it if you control another knight. Boo. Boo. You should have just, you fucking cowards. You should just let it put a stun counter no matter what. That's just boring. Ingress without proper writ of extra planar intent. Unacceptable. Not just this is Kylan. I think this is no. Jace's plane is something else. I'm getting the plane names mixed up. I'll get there when I get there. Next we have Saiba Cryptomancer. Dude, bro. I'm gonna read this guy in a dude bro accent. Good luck getting through a 7 class proxy ward, creep. Flash backup one and whoa. Flash hexproof. Really? It's a low drop even. This is something to keep an eye on. Next we have Stasis Field, Enchant Creature. Ooh, I actually like this one. I actually like these kinds of effects. There's this like flash enchantment from Ikoria, Mystic Subdual, where it makes a creature lose all abilities and it reduces their attack to like near zero. I actually personally like these effects for Commander. But for Pauper, there are like better stuff. There's better stuff to do. Like you can just hard counter it. Oh yeah, there, Vrin. Yep, Jace's plane. Yep, they used the mage rings for something else. That's cool. But for Pauper, probably no. I mean, there are like far better like stuff you can do with removal at 2 mana in Pauper. Next, we have Temporal Cleansing, 4 mana sorcery with Convoke. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it in the bottom of the library, second from the top or on the bottom. Now is definitely not the good time. Whoever this is attributed to, you fucking suck. Oh my god. Only second from the top or right on the bottom, really? And it's a sorcery speed. If this were an instant, it would have been insane. But it's because it's sorcery speed, they're gonna see this coming from a mile away. So absolutely not. It should have been instant speed, but at sorcery, unfortunately no. Next we have Thunderhead Squadron, a 6 mana 3/4 with Convoke and Flying. No, this is just pack filler, and you know it. Tidal Terror. Oh, it's a cycle. So same with the Plane Cycler one earlier. This one cycles for an island. But when this guy attacks, tap 2 other untapped creatures, and if you do, Tidal Terror can't be blocked this turn. So it needs to have haste-ish of some sort, and so it can become effective. I mean, it can't be blocked, and it has to be attacked. So, or rather, it has to attack. So, in the Living End deck, this is insane removal, especially in getting blockers out of the way. So, something to keep an eye out for Modern once again. Next, we have Zephyr Winder. I'm pretty sure that's Winder, not Winder. 2 mana 2/1 with flying. When it deals combat damage to a player, untap up to 1 target creature. It needs to deal combat damage for it to do its thing, so you must already have an established board state. So, absolutely not. Zalfirin Shapecraft, 2 mana instant. Target creature has base power and toughness 14 until end of turn. Draw card. It's just a cantrip with bonus attached to it. Absolutely not. Aetherblade Agent, a 2 mana 1/1 with Death Touch. And what does it transform into? Gitaxian Mindstinger. That's awesome art. What's the flavor text? The Consulate of Kaladesh had always valued his particular talent for extracting information, but the Chrome Host's methods were far more efficient. Jin Gitaxias. Of course you were better. And when he deals combat damage to a player or a battle, you draw a card. So 2 mana for a 1/1 with Death Touch, that already makes it really hard to block. And then for 4 mana and 2 life, you can basically turn it into a Death Touch with 3/3. So this is honestly, I actually personally really like this in the decks that can support him. It's Death Touch, so it makes him really bad block. Because any creature it touches, they'll just die. And for a Kaladeshian warrior, he's really good at his job. So something to keep an eye out for, but otherwise, probably will not see play. Next, we have Bladed Battlefan, a flash artifact equipment. Oh, cool. When it enters the battlefield, attach to target creature control. So it's basically a battle trick that grants protection and arts and whoosh and whatnot. It only grants +1/+0, and probably not any better than just granting indestructibility. But otherwise, yeah, no, this will definitely not see play. Next, we have Consuming Aetherborn, a 4 mana 2/2 with backup 1 and lifelink. No, this will definitely not see any play. This is just curve filler at the most. Corrupted Conviction. This is one of those cards that the Pauper can be disguised for, because we have another Village Rites style effect, because it's 1 mana sack creature, draw 2. Watsy, can you please stop giving Grixis Affinity shit like this. Please, we're sick of it already. Although I didn't want Daddy Johnny here to just step on me rather than Shouldered here. Shouldered's nose, as somebody pointed out, is really, really good here. And take note, Shoulder is not even supposed to be human. I don't know why. They don't know why Shoulder has such a good nose here. But Daddy Johnny, please step on me instead. Anyway, Daddy Derision, we're seeing Durati once again. 4 mana for destroy a creature or planeswalker, and in return you create a treasure token. It's good for standard. I'm not too sure if it will see play in Pioneer, since the removal in Pioneer is so much better, because Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay all by themselves is already like really good options for the Pioneer format. This is a little too much. 4 mana is a bit much for that format. Even for a format as slow as Pioneer, relative to every other constructed format there is. But to see our guy already, still be alive, in spite of everything that's happening, that's a thumbs up for me. Next, we have Drag Recycler, a 2-mana 2/2, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This will definitely see play in Aristocrat style decks and Commander for years to come. And it's uncommon too, so if you're on a budget, you're gonna wanna pick one up. Etched Familiar, a 3-mana 3/2, and when it dies, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. No refunds. Yes, this is the same exact Familiar from Kaladesh after it was completed. Although this doesn't draw a card on death, it makes each opponent lose 2 life instead, rather than you gaining life and drawing a card. So this is something, you can use it on Drag Recycler here, sack this, and then, if you have some way to recur the Etched Familiar, go nuts. Next, we have Etched Host Doombringer. That's the most metal name I've seen yet. A 5-mana 3/5. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1. Target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Choose target battle. If an opponent protects it, remove 3 defense counters from it. Otherwise, put 3 defense counters on it. Why would you put defense counters on it? Do you want the battle to last longer than it should? When some of the battles have insane effects. Why would you do that? You'd rather remove the defense counters, damn it. But I'm guessing this guy is only really here for the first effect. Especially if you can like repeatedly get this guy in and out of the battlefield, or hell, even flickering him. But 5 mana is a bit much for that effect. Although the 3/5 stat line is decent, but otherwise no. Next, we have Failed Conversion, a 5-mana enchantment aura. Target creature gets -4/-4, but when it dies, you surveil 2. This is bad. There's so many better ways to go about this, so no. Next, we have Final Flourish, a 2-mana instant with Kicker. Ooh, I did not think we'd see Kicker so soon again. Sacrifice an artifact creature. Target creature gets -2/-2. Yeah, okay. If it was kicked, that creature gets -6/-6 instead. So this kills a lot of creatures. Of a lot of top end stuff in this format. If I remember correctly, because there are a lot of like big creatures on the higher end of the rarity ladder here. I think 6 is like a really good cap for it, and sacrificing an artifact or creature, that's like small fry. In the Pauper format, there are so many like ways to create this expendable bodies in the Pauper format, especially in the colors that can afford it. So yeah, something to keep an eye out for sideboards. Next, we have Flitting Gorilla. Yeah, I'm reading that right. Flitting Gorilla, 3-mana 2/2, flying. When it dies, each player mills 2. Then you may exile Flitting Gorilla. And when you do, put target creature or battle card from your graveyard on top of your library. So it regrows something, not to hand, but to top of library. So you'd need a way to draw it. No, it's definitely curve filler. Next, we have Gloomfang Mauler. I am getting tongue-tied with all of these words here. 7-mana 5/5 with Swamp Cycling. They made that the first line of decks. And then it has backup too, Wit and Menace. So you can grant something menace. So this is like the worst of the bunch I've seen of its cycle I've seen so far, because the first one is an Oblivion Ring. This one taps down 2 creatures and you can't block it. You basically gets rid of blockers. This only grants menace. I mean, it's a 5/5, sure, but you could have made it something else, I guess. This is something to keep in mind for the Living Index, since most Living Index don't exactly have black, so this might not see play at all. Next, we have Icar Drinker, a 1 mana 1/1 with lifelink. It's good, if only for that alone. But you know, it keeps going. You can even create an incubator token after all that. So yeah, I've seen talk about this guy. I'm seeing competitive play, but personally, I'm not too well, yeah, I'm not exactly too impressed by it, but it's definitely something to watch out for because a 1 mana 1/1 with lifelink is definitely something to keep an eye on. And it, it even replaces itself when it dies. It creates a 2/2 on death essentially. So yeah, something to keep an eye out for. But yeah. Next, we have Icar Shade, a 3 mana 2/3 Phyrexian Shade. At the beginning of your end step, if an artifact or creature was put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, it gets bigger. No, there are far better ways to go about 3 mana by this point. This is just way too slow for its effect these days. Next, we have Injector Crocodile. Oh no, wait, I remember there's like a crocodile creature somewhere. Wait, no, is this the same crocodile from Languish? Oh no, he got completed. The poor guy. This is the one that might actually see play. Because the other one only grants like menace, and this is like the same exact stat line, and it's cheaper by like a couple of by only like 1 mana. I actually prefer this because it creates a token on death. So we're gonna see where this goes, but probably not because again, the most living index don't really have black because they prefer to just cascade into living end anyway. So this might not see play at all. Next, we have Mirrodin and Avenge. This is basically the name changed version of Omaewa Moshinderu. No, you are already dead. You are already dead. People have tried to make You Are Already Dead playable with Kumbaj Witches. Unfortunately, the amount of setup needed to do what cards like this need to do is just way too much work. And straight removal is honestly like just a lot better. Although Karn, that flavor text means you're just going to seal Elish Norn inside you, as if you didn't learn the first time. That, oh my god, Watsy. Cowardly way to fix the Phyrexian problem. But, what can we do? Next, we have Nezumi Informant, a 2 mana 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. I mean, yeah, if it works, it works. And, you better tell Bosso Mizawa that I got something moving in the new territories here. Next, we have Tenured Oilcaster, a 4 mana 2/4 with Menace. And it has +3/+0 as long as an opponent has 8 or more. Okay, so it cares about milling. So there's that, and when it attacks or blocks, each player mills a card. That's actually really goddamn good. It's a bit expensive at 4 mana, but I don't know, if you're a budget player, you're gonna love this card, especially if you're a mill deck. And it has menace, so it's not easy to block either. And then if your opponent has like, my god, it keeps going. If your opponent has 8 or more cards, this is actually like it becomes a 5/4 that mills a card. Like holy shit! And being 4 toughness makes it survive a lot of combat. And if your opponent has like 5 or more cards in the graveyard, having 5 power and 4 toughness is pretty hard to get over. So we move on to the next page. Oh, we have 6 cards left. Dramatic Revelation. The poor Chandra, you had to put down this. This is not a good discard spell, by the way. But the art hard to understand. Oh fuck you, Nissa. you're just sad that they broke up. The breakup is so hard on you, Nissa. I'm so sorry. Next, we have Unsealed the Necropolis, a 3 mana instant. Each player mills 3, then return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. An instant speed regrow, you say. And it targets any 2 creatures. This is honestly really spicy. On Amonkhet found ready-made army of horrors waiting for a new master. This is honestly really spicy. The art is, wait, yeah, the name Isis. Yeah, I've seen this artist before. I need to look up more of this guy. But yeah, it's an instant speed recovery tool. Definitely will definitely make see this be played in more budget-minded commander decks. But in constructed 60 card constructed, this will probably not see play because 3 mana is a bit much. But for budget-minded commander players, this is definitely something to keep an eye on. Next, we have Vanquish the Weak, 3 mana, destroy target creature with power 3 or less. Cast down does it for 2, and it basically kills every creature in the format. Although Atraxa, mwah, Inuka Penna, praise be your holy thighs or whatever. Next we move on to the red cards. Aki Scrap Chomper, a 1 mana 1/1 with a sack that has a sack outlet to draw a card. I have Sprouting Goblin in my Windgrace deck. It's a 2 mana with Clicker, so it's essentially a 3 mana play that searches a land, and then it has an ability that is similar to this, but it sacrifices just a land to draw a card. But for 1 more mana and the option to sacrifice an artifact as well, and this is essentially also a 3 mana play as well. But it's definitely an efficient thing to have, but requiring it to tap is definitely the right way to go, because you cannot give Affinity more tools than it already has. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely something to keep an eye out for, especially if you're artifact heavy, or you don't mind sacrificing lands every once in a while. This is definitely something to keep an eye out for. Next, we have Beamtown Beatstick. Yeah, this is I remember now. This is one of the good equipments that I've seen. It gives it doesn't matter that it gives +1/+0, but it gives menace, and it also creates a treasure token if you have a creature deal combat damage. Like, that is insane for a 1-drop equipment. This will definitely see play somewhere. I'm just not sure what. Next, we have Burning Sun's Fury. It has Convoke, so you can basically just use 2 creatures that will not attack, preferably the ones with Summoning Sickness. And then, 2 other creatures get +2/+0 and haste. So this is definitely a really neat battle trick. Can be used to finish your opponent off in drafts in really flashy ways, but in Pauper, probably not, unfortunately. Next, we have Coming in Hot. It's a 1 mana instant. Target creature gets +1/+1, gains first, second, 11 turns. Cry 1. I mean, I don't say why not. I have a reckless idea that that never ends well. Wait, it was Koth who told her this? Oh my god. Planeswalkers of the same element think alike. Oh my god. Next, we have Crag Smasher Yeti, a 6 mana 4/2 with Mountain Cycling, and it has backup 2, which will either give it trample or give another creature you control trample. No, it dies to a lot of things. It can potentially become a 6/4 if you wanted to, but 6 mana for this effect, definitely no. For Living Death, maybe, but who knows? And probably too much as well. Next, we have Furnace Host Charger, Haste, and Mountain Cycling. 6 mana 5/5 for that effect. It's a Phyrexian Giant. Wait, where's its head? Where is its head? I'm trying to look for its head. Well, there's the arm. So yeah, this is probably the head right here. With barely a moment's warning, a 1 giant avalanche crashes the Kaldheim's defenders. Woof. I don't like it, unfortunately. I mean, Mountain Cycling is okay, but no. Next, we have Hanger Scrounger, a 3 mana 2/1, backup 1, and then whenever this creature becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So you can either put it on him or one other creature that either has an ability to untap itself, and then you can rummage through your deck that way. But it's a scary ability to give to another creature, but to make it 3 mana, for me at least, it's a bit overcosted. We'll not see play in Pauper, but probably those will probably be in a budget commander deck somewhere. Next, we have Karsa's Depth Guard, 3 mana 4/3 with Defender, and as long as his power is 5 or greater, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. To work hard just to make it 5 power is not so much, but you can give it the Beamtown Beatstick, so they won't have Defender anymore. That makes it a good attacker, I guess. He stood his ground in the mirrored depths, his roar of defiance echoed by 1,000 crystalline reflections. Wait, Karsus is this? Mirrored depths? I'm not quite sure what plane this is. Is it Dominaria? I'm not quite sure. Oh, let's just move on. Marauding Dreadship, 3 mana 4/1 with haste. When it enters the battlefield, incubate 2. Oh, so you can basically. So you're basically spending 3, 5. Yeah, 5 mana for 4/1 with haste. I mean, why not? If you're a deck that can easily recycle artifacts, I don't see why not. But ship with a mouth. What more could you want? It's like the second most metal thing I've seen, apart from the Doombringer earlier. My God. Next we have Miran, Bane Splitter. Oh, another one mana artifact. Okay. With Flash even. When enters the battlefield, adds it to a creature you control. Hey, it's a 1 mana plus 2/0. So it's a battle trick. No. There's like better ways to go about this. Please, no. No. Onaka Javelineer, a 5 mana 5/4 with reach, and it deals 2 damage to target player or battle. It's a really overcosted burn effect. I do not like the way his hand looks, but unfortunately, we do know that hands can actually bend that far-ish. Yeah, I'm trying it right now, and it's possible to achieve that pose. It's humanly possible. Although I'm not too sure about these ogres, but the Onake are like warrior folk. Wait, is he holding the javelin wrong? Is this AR art? All right, let's just move on. Piratic Prankster. This is definitely Innistradi Devil. So it's a 2 mana 2/1 that turns into a 3/2. When it dies, each opponent sacrifices an artifact or a creature. No, to work that hard. So you're basically playing 3, so 5 mana and 2 life for a 3/2 that makes people sacrifice something. And there's way better ways to go about that. Next, we have Rouse Reinforcement. It's good to see that this guy's still alive. It's 2 mana, create 2 tokens. So 2 mana for 2/1/1s. I mean, I don't see why not. Although sorcery speed makes it a little worse because it's slow and your opponent will see it coming. It's something to keep an eye out for, but probably not see play. Next, we have Red Cap Heal Slasher, 4 mana 2/3 with backup 1 and first strike. So you can either get something else first strike, or it can give it itself. It can get first strike himself, but so this is probably looking at it now. This is probably a plant for the upcoming Return to Eldraine set somewhere down in sometime next year. So we're gonna see where if we see more red caps in the future. Next, we have Searing Barb doing their best Kylo Ren impersonation here. 3 mana for a sorcery, deals 2 damage to any target. If it's a creature, it can't block, incubate 1. Why would you do that? That makes it just makes it a really bad removal spell. Next, we have Shatter the Source. It has it's 6 mana for an instant, but it has Convoke, so it deals 6 damage to a creature, planeswalker, or battle, or you just destroy an artifact. 6 mana is too much, even for Convoke. But 6 mana for 6 damage, I don't see why not. But there are way better ways to spend mana in Pauper, at least. Then Thrashing Frontliner, 2 mana for a 2/2 with Trample, and whenever it attacks a battle, it gets +1/+1. If it only needs to attack a battle, that makes it absolutely in order to get a buff, that makes it absolutely worthless, unfortunately. Although 2 mana 2/2 with Trample, it dies to a lot of things. I'm thinking about it. Next, we have Trailblazing Historian, 2 mana 1/3 with haste, and another creature gains haste. Ooh, that's actually really good. So it's a support creature for the shaman archetype, even. That's interesting. So that I would keep an eye on this personally. So, ooh, yeah, that's really good. Volcanic Spike deals 3 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. Fixes your hand. This is actually really good. Holy shit. None may approach the Ashen Island without offering an edict fortuitously absent from faction dungeons concerning the world of Asgol. Oh, bad luck for you. Now we move to Ikoria. This is Strixhaven, definitely, because historians are like a big thing in Strixhaven. Then I'm not sure where Asgol is. I don't know what world that is. And then we get to Ikoria. Wartrain Slasher, 4 mana 4/3 with menace, and whenever he attacks a battle, doubles power until end of turn. No, this guy was made to destroy the battles that are in the set, but no. I mean, it has menace, but no. Ren's resolve. Even as she burned bent the world breaker to her will. Oh, poor girl. Oh my god, my sweet baby girl, Ren. This was your last outing, and it's one of your best. I mean, your first outing as Ren in 6 is like your best outing, like probably ever. And then Ren in 7 sees a lot of play in standard, but now with Ren and Runbreaker, this is a really good way to send her off. We'll miss you, Ren. We'll miss you. And then going into the card, this is basically a second Reckless Impulse. What more could you ask for? All right, moving on to the green cards. Arachnoid Adaptation. Instant, target creature gets +2/+2 and gains reach. Untap it. Untap it. So Selval players and Marwyn players are frothing at the mouth yet again. And this is basically a buff that makes Marwyn or Selval tap for more mana. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then we have Atraxa's Fall. Fallen Angels Should Stay Fallen by Henzi Toolbox Torre. So it was Henzi who killed Atraxa. Oh my god. And this is the obligatory kill a flying creature in draft. Yeah. Next, we have Blighted Burgeoning, a 3-mana enchantment aura. When it enters the battlefield, incubate 2 whenever enchanted land. Okay, so this is one of those 3 mana to make a land tap for 2. All right. Go, 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 go. It makes a token, but, you know, all of its other effects are like, no. Next, we have Bonded Herd Beast, a 5-mana 4/5 that transforms into Plated Kiln Beast. That's, wow, those are stats, all right. 7/5 with menace. Holy shit. But yeah, it drops on turn 5 and activate only as a sorcery. So this will basically be your only thing, and it dies to a lot of it doesn't die in combat at least, but it dies to like really good black removal like Cast Down and Snuff Out. So, but you know, it's something. I would keep an eye out for this in draft, but in Pauper probably not, because 5 mana is a bit much even for the decks that can support it. Next, we have Chomping Kavu. Ooh, Kavu! Good to see these guys again. 4 mana 3/3 backup 1, and it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. This is interesting. Ooh. I could put this in my reanimator deck. But just to make just to make my creatures there be unblockable by creatures with power 2 or less, I don't see why not. But otherwise, probably no. Next, we have Converter Beast, a 4 mana that creates incubate 5. No. So it basically creates a 5/5 on death. No. It creates a 5/5 for next turn. So no, a bit too slow. Next we have Cosmic Hunger. 2 mana. It's essentially a fight. It's not a fight spell per se, but no. This also shows coma after being completed, and no. I think Coma was killed by Finn, if I remember correctly. It's something to watch out for in standard, hell, maybe even in Pioneer. But otherwise, Pauper probably not. Next, we have Crystal Carapace, 4 mana for an aura that gives a creature +3/+3 and ward 2, and it cycles. So this I can definitely see this being in play in Boggles as a 2-of. But you know, 4 mana is a bit much even for that deck. Hell, maybe even just 1, but they have like better effects for it, and you know, by the time they have 4 mana, they would just be protecting the 1 creature they have on board anyway. So yeah, we'll probably not see play, even though it has a good spread of abilities. Next, we have Fairground's Trumpeter, a 3 mana 2/2. At the beginning of each end step, if a +1/+1 counter was put on a permanent you control, you can put a +1/+1 counter on it. So when something else gets big, you can make this guy bigger. So this definitely is a support piece for the backup mechanic, because it puts a +1/+1 counter on something. So if you make something big, you can make something. You can grow this elephant as well. Fertilid's Favor, 4 mana, search a library for a basic, put it on the battlefield. Wow, the Fertilid is giving is doing a lot of work here. Holy shit. That's actually really cute. But 4 mana to do to just search 1 land, a basic land even. There are like effects that are most effects are like 4 mana to search 2 basics, but this exchanges that to put two +1/+1 counters instead. As cool as the art is, and as cool as the effect is, unfortunately there are like better ways to ramp. Unfortunately. Next, we have Iridescent Blade Master, a 2 mana 2/2 that has a mana sink that gives it +2/+2. So it can potentially become a 4/4, but by that time, she would have already been bolted to death. So we're gonna move on. Next, we have Overgrown Pest. Oh, we're back on Strixhaven with these things. 3 mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you get the top 5. You may reveal a land or double-faced card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So this includes the battles, or the MDFCs from Zendikar Rising and other sets past it, or hell, it can even I'm pretty sure this would also include like the transform cards from the older sets. So we're gonna see. Next, we have Placid Rottentail. This is definitely something either from Ikoria or from Eldraine, but I'm seeing more. Wait. It has always loved munching on daisies and crystal weed, but lately its favorite snacks were the strange round roots popping up everywhere. That is not. That is not Gucci at all. Oh no, Fungus Rabbit even. This is definitely an Icorian creature. It's cute, but probably not C-play. Portent Tracker, a 2 mana 1/1 that attempts to target land. Ooh, and it's a Satyr Scout though. Choose target battle if an opponent protects it, remove defense counter, and otherwise put the defense counter on activate unless it's sorcery. No, I mean I'm only here for the untapped target land, but no, not even that. Let's just move on. Seed of Hope. Yeah, this is another one of those cards that the Pauper community was excited about. 1 mana instant mill 2. You may put a permanent from among them the milled cards back into your hand. Gain 2. So it's basically 1 mana draw 1. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. For the decks that can support it. So definitely keep an eye out for this one. Next we have Serpent Blade Assailant, a 3 mana 2/1 with backup 1 and Death Touch. No, not even for that. Timberland Ancient, 6 mana 6/5 with Reach and Trample. It has 4 cycling, so that's something. The Living Index I could definitely see the Living Index having something like this, especially if they, the way I see it, this is just my personal jank way of building it. There are no fetch lines anymore. You can just cycles. You can just land cycle, all of the creatures in your deck, so that you can get the cards that you need. But otherwise, probably this I can definitely see I can definitely see being in play from the Living Index because most of their stuff is like base green and blue, if I remember correctly. But probably not. But I would be more than happy to see this guy there. Next, we have Vengeant Earth. An instant target creature or land you control becomes a 4 for elemental. In addition to its other types, it must be blocked this turn. So Zendikar is going into defense mode once again because good God, as if the Eldrazi were not enough. Now it's Phyrexians. It can be a finisher for the decks that can support it. This is definitely something to watch out for, and it targets a creature as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. But otherwise, we'll probably not see play. War Historian, Indestructible. I already saw this card during previous season. I was already unimpressed by it, and seeing it again, I'm just as unimpressed. Wari Thespian. This is just a theater kid who doesn't know what he's doing, so probably no. Wildwood Escort. This is just a continuation of I think the Wildwood Preserver, if I remember its original name. 5 mana 3/3 when out of the battlefield, return target creature from your graveyard. So it's if it would die, exile it and said, they don't want you looping this in and out of the graveyard. And it has to enter the battlefield every time. All right. I see what you're doing, Watsy. They knew what they were doing here. All right, now we'll move on to the artifacts. Flywheel Racer, 2 mana 3/2 with Vigilance, and add 1 mana of any color. Activate only if it's a creature. Yeah, it would be far too broken if you can activate it willy nilly. And it has Crew 1, so yeah, it's pretty low on the curve, surprisingly. Yes, I'm Gucci. I don't know why I decided to do that all of a sudden. We move on here. Something to keep an eye out for because it's a mana rock ish. It's 2 mana. So and the crew cost is pretty goddamn low, so it's pretty easy to turn into a mana rock. Next we have Halo Hopper, a 3 mana 3/2. This is definitely from Kamigawa. It's just Convoke. So you're basically saying it has affinity with extra steps. But 3/2, there's better ways to do it. The affinity creatures cost 0 essentially. Maybe not. Probably not at all. Kite Sail, reprint, no. Phyrexian Archivist, 6 mana with Reach, no. Skittering Surveyor, 3 mana. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic enemy and put it into your hand. This is just a ground creature of Pilgrim's Eye, no. Urn of Godfire. I have seen the Tron boys say that this is good. It's basically a sideboard option for removal for creatures or enchantments. I've heard them say that Manescape Refractor does what it needs to do in spots like this. There's definitely not main deckable, but will definitely sideboard play. We'll definitely see sideboard play. And we have reprints again for the Gainlands. What are the last 6 cards here? Ah, great. Yeah. So it's basically just all of the Gainlands. And yeah, that's all of it for March of the Machine. Surprisingly a lot of good cards compared to like Brothers War, which like fell off the wayside really quickly. And Phyrexia All Will Be One is like still seeing experimentation to this day, and I will not be surprised if more experimentation will be seen out of this set in particular. I am looking at you, Meeting of the Minds. If I do not see you in any blue X deck, I will be sorely disappointed. So yeah, if if nothing else, this is a really goddamn good set for Pauper. Not too powerful, not too game breakingly powerful. I will have to check if there's anything of note in the commander decks as well, if there are any new cards there as well. So yeah, I will come back with that if there is any. But otherwise, we're gonna end the set review here. So if you like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share it among your friends. And until next time, toodles.